Hi friends, the stars have aligned and I'm back with another astrology video, and this one's going to be covering Libra moon. Right now I'm lucky enough to have some energies helping me. The moon is at 15 degrees Gemini, which is conjunct with my natal Mercury, so I'm hoping some of that power will come in here in this video. We'll see what we can do. Now I want to give one caveat similar to my Scorpio ascendant. I have Rahu conjunct my natal moon in Libra, and this is one of my placements as well. So, like I said, I'm talking about my placements first, just so I can get my feet wet in this astrology game and not speak out of turn. But with Rahu here, I may throw up some illusions. So just keep that in mind. If some of this doesn't resonate with you, then that may be the case. And if you're super new and you don't know what Rahu and Ketu or North Node and South Node mean, I'm more comfortable in the Aries side of the energy than branching out into the Libra side. So I'm still learning myself. This conjunction kind of puts a haze over my own reactions and needs and identity, etc. But I think that will still allow me to talk about some points in a unique way. So let's get right into it. So first of all, let's talk about what the moon is. The moon is the needs, and this can be the emotional needs of a person, the needs for comfort and security, and it can also be the reactions of a person and the inclinations of a person. So for example, imagine there's a Capricorn moon human walking down the street, and a homeless person approaches or tries to call them over to beg. The Capricorn moon, if you've seen Avatar, may throw up a rock barrier in front of the homeless person, you know, metaphorically, and continue to walk without looking at him. So that's their reaction to the situation. Whereas someone with, say, Aquarius or a Gemini moon may be more likely to start up a conversation or hear what they have to say. Aquarius with that Uranus energy wanting to, and Aquarius tends to have a natural reaction to entertain unique guests or to listen to people in unique situations, and Gemini likes to talk to almost anybody. So those moons would have a different reaction than the cardinal Earth, Saturn ruled planet like Capricorn. So that's just one quick little example. So that's the moon. And then Libra. Libra is cardinal air. It's a masculine placement. It's the natural 7th house of the zodiac. The motto of Libra is I balance. And one of the mottos that I've heard that I like even more is I relate. And this can be to people, places, or things. I relate. Okay, so it's ruled by, I already said it's ruled by Venus, but Saturn exalts here, and exaltations are very important. The reason why Saturn exalts here is because Libra is the first nighttime placement of the zodiac. It takes place, I believe, at 6 to 8. No, 4 to 6, 6 to 8, 8 to 10 p.m. Yeah, I think so, 8 to 10 p.m., which is sunset. 6 to 8, 8 to 6, sorry, I'm lost on that one, but Cancer's 12 to 2, Leo's 2 to 4, Virgo's 4 to 6, 6 to 8 p.m., sunset. So 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. is Libra. Okay, and yeah, let's just jump right into it. So like in the Scorpio video, I've made a list, and I'm gonna comment as I go down the list, and this is not in any particular order, so we'll see how it goes. And first, let me do this, because I told you guys I'd show you this book in the last video if anybody wanted to see it. So let me flip this around. This is the book that was recommended by Santos Bonacci. It's called Dance of the Zodiac, and it's by William Schreiber, as you can see right there. And this shows the physical characteristics of the signs. So here we see Libra. And so this would be a representation. It's very cartoonish, but that's because it needs to fit all the potential faces. Now I'll read this excerpt really quick, and you can screenshot it or just listen along. And so we see Libra rules the kidneys, the lumbar region, and sometimes as well the skin surface. Actually, I won't read this. I'll let you guys screenshot it, and then I'll show you these celebrities he's got here. Thank you, William Schreiber. We see Will Smith, John Lennon, looks like Gwyneth Paltrow, Matt Damon over here on the right. He resembles my cousin who's a Libra sun. I think he is as well. All right. So these Libras we see have very proportionate features, and they have some of the best posture of the entire zodiac. Here, I'll give you an example. Remember I told you what the Scorpios look like when they walk? Here's the Scorpio picture right here, the natural hunch with the bird beak, and here's the face so that you can compare it to Libra. And I'll go ahead and show you the celebrities in case anybody's interested. We see Leonardo DiCaprio there with the curved eyebrows. Owen Wilson, Scarlett Johansson, Hillary Clinton, Whoopi Goldberg, etc. So I'll show you one more time for reference. That's the Scorpios. Here's the Libras. You can tell one's ruled by Mars, the other's ruled by Venus. These people look much more jolly. Their faces are more proportionate, etc. John Lennon there looks like he could have a Scorpio nose on him. See, that was what I was telling you guys about the genetics in the last video. People from the British Isles, the phenotype is called Celtic Norded, have hooked noses if they have that phenotype, that subrace, regardless of what their zodiac sign is. All right, enough of the physical stuff. Let's jump into Libra. So, remember I said the motto was, I relate. So the Libra needs to relate to people, and this is tinted by the other signs that they possess in their chart. So if they have water, then they'll want to relate to the past and to emotions, to experiences that they've had, maybe tell stories, or to the emotions of the room, or the emotions of the person that they're talking about, or talking to. If they have earth, then they may want to relate about practicality, or business, or beauty, or material possessions, and structure, daily routine, that kind of thing. And if they have fire, then they may want to talk about future plans or about visions or artistic expressions that they've had, either in the current or in the future. And this would also take on where your other placements are, which is basically what I was just saying about your other elements in the chart. It's also important, let me back up real quick. This is the natural 7th house of the zodiac, so it's opposite Aries. The natural 1st house of the zodiac, Aries, represents the top of the head, and it represents the person himself. It represents you. So opposite, anything opposite on an astrology chart represents the opposite thing. So the Libra in the 7th house represents the other, or the mirror, whether that be a person, place, or thing, but usually a person. And naturally this can represent the spouse, usually represents the spouse. And the placement of the ruler of this planet can also give you hints in terms of personal connections and relationships. But this also represents business partners, one-on-one conversations, anytime you're talking to one other person especially, or relating to them in some way. Even you watching this video is a Libra relationship, because I'm speaking to one person. Unless you're watching it with a group of friends, then it'd be closer to the 11th house. But if you're watching it alone, then this is basically a one-on-one interaction. So there we go, 7th house stuff. All right, like I said, this is in no particular order, so here comes one. Prone to laziness. Now I've found that this, besides the Venus rulership and the, well, let me just get right to it. I've found that this is largely from the mental exercise of playing out situations before they happen to determine the value or effectiveness of the situation. So, in my own life, I found that I'm prone to analyzing and trying to relate to every situation that I may embark on before it happens. And Libra being a cardinal air sign, it's also known as the philosopher house. And basically it gives good mental prowess, the Libra moon placement. You have intellectual capabilities. But this comes with a curse, which is the fact that you can play out situations that are to come and give them a negative tint before you actually get into the situation. So this wouldn't even exactly be called laziness. This would be called giving up before it happens, or naturally deciding that it's not going to be worth your time, that kind of thing. So that may not be the best articulation of that point. So I'll jump right to another negative one. They're prone to melancholia and cynicism. So the Libra can become negative and cynical about the world over time. And this comes a lot from the Venus rulership. The Venus rulership gives Libra a love for beauty and for perfection and for justice. The other motto is I balance. So if the Libra wants everything to be perfect, then they're going to be disappointed very often. And the Libra can be idealistic about relationships especially, and about life situations. What's one going to be doing during the day, like career or fun events like going to hang out with friends or going to a party. They can be very idealistic about these things, but then once that idealism is crushed a few times, whether in childhood or just recently, they can get over it, but they start to realize that the world is harsher. The Saturn starts to overtake that Venus at some points, and they start to realize that things don't turn out idealistically. They're not all beautiful, and they're not all balanced situations. But I don't want to get too stuck in this rut at the beginning of the video, so let me try to find some other stuff here. Okay. At first, the Libra leads by following. So this is the 7th house. They're very good. Libra moons are very good at relating one-on-one with people and understanding the other person's communications, the other person's desires for the conversation and their thought patterns, the way that they're continuing on. And at first, the Libra will take a back seat in a friendship or in a partnership, especially the less evolved Libra. And this is to feel the situation out and to grow the relationship. This is where Saturn comes in. The Libra always wants to be building the relationship. It's not just a spark thing always. It's over time. And when I said leads by following, it's because they start to make calls and to influence, to talk to the person that's leading the group, or in their two-man friendship, etc. As the relationship continues and as they build prowess, because the Libra is going to have new ideas. This is cardinal air. Cardinal meaning it's the beginning, it's the strongest air sign in terms of the manifestation of this energy. So they're going to have new ideas for what to do, for what to talk about, new philosophies, new ventures to go on, new thought experiments, new ideas to help solve the other person's problems, etc. So after the leader of the friendship or of the group encounters a problem or encounters a situation and they go to the Libra is going to be one of the first people that has some recommendation or has some way to help or has some other activity to do, etc. So once they see that, the Libra's starting to help there, and then the Libra starts to build confidence and to build on that relationship and to build security and trust. That Libra moon will start to eventually start to play a lot more stake and have a lot more comfort in that friendship or in that group. The Libra likes to have a partner in crime, friend or significant other to experience life with. Now, this isn't so much as Gemini, the twin, who loves to go experience, because the Libra, like I said, is more, I wouldn't say passive, but more balanced and Saturn influenced, judgmental in the situations that they enter into. But with that being said, if they have to do something, an obligation, or if they decide to do something, then their energy will be enhanced by having someone that they enjoy the company of around them. And if you meet a Libra walking to the store alone, and then you meet a Libra walking to the store with his or her best friend, that you're going to meet two different Libras. The Libra with the best friend is going to be in the mode of the friendship. So however that friendship's been cultivated, for example, with some of my friends in the past, we would create entire languages or dialects where we would change words. So we would change vowels. This is especially when I was younger. So we would have total inside jokes and words and language and everything that was almost incomprehensible to anybody else unless they had a lot of air in their chart or they could just somehow catch on. Like we would just change the syllables of a word. So instead of saying any word, you just change the vowel into a different vowel sound. So like an ah into an oo, and you have a whole different language, basically. So what I'm saying is the Libra, that relationship will take on its own energy and its own patterns, and the Libra will be invested in those patterns when they're with that person. Now, if someone comes and tries to break them out of that group, or if someone from a different friend group that the Libra knows catches them in a pattern, this happened to me myself as well. The Libra could break character or become ashamed of the pattern that they have with one friend, because they can get so invested into one pattern of acting. If someone, this is especially a much younger Libra, but this can still happen as you become an adult, I'm sure. The Libra's invested in the one-on-one, so they can go down other people's paths and create certain relationship things with the person. But then if somebody else from a different relationship pattern sees the way that they're acting with this other relationship pattern, I'm going to jump out of the sun real quick. Can only hang so long in there with this genetic set I've got. Then the Libra may break character from their friend that they're hanging out with currently and be somewhat ashamed of what they were just doing with that person because it was unseen to the world. Now this could just be because of Scorpio ascendant or for something else, but I just thought that would be interesting to mention. All right, here we go. Got some shade. So let's keep moving. So what I'm saying is that the Libra is either, and this can go the other way, the Libra is either really heightened in a friendship, or if it's not the best friendship for them, they can be less moral and less jovial. They can become wicked, you know what I'm saying? But they're going to be heightened by the friendship. Just wave amplitude is going to be more. That doesn't mean good or bad. But when they're with somebody else that they're comfortable with, they're going to be vibrating higher. That's one way you could say it. Okay. Okay, here's one thing about Libra that's important to know, especially if you have this placement, Libra Moon. Libra enjoys most the company of very interesting and or very high status individuals. So this is that combination of Saturn and Venus, the Saturn exaltation and the Venus rulership. The Venus loves beauty and loves high quality things, loves good things like nice silks, nice clothes, nice cars, nice houses, nice artwork, everything. And then the Saturn likes high status and likes high structure and quality. Yeah, that's good enough. So with the combination of those things, the Libra always wants to be around high status individuals. This can just be if you're swimming in a small pond, if you're in a small town, or of lesser status or lesser expansion yourself, then this can still be you're drawn to the most interesting person in your region or your area. And similar to what I was saying, where the Libra's strength grows in relationships, the Libra seeks these relationships out because subconsciously or consciously they know this. So they want to ally themselves with the best possible friends that they can, because it makes them feel more significant and because their life trajectory will grow. They're right about it. It will grow based on who they hang out with. So if you're at a party and one of your friends knows the DJ of the party and you think the DJ's doing a really great job and he's got great energy, etc., then you're going to want to go to your friend's house or to the after party afterwards and meet that DJ and talk to him and relate to him And you will have been listening, if you've already made this mental note, the Libra moon will have been listening to everything that that DJ is playing so that they have something to relate to and talk about with the DJ later. Like, hey, I heard when you mixed this song into that song, that was super talented, man, I like that part, etc. You know what I'm saying? The Libra starts to realize, for example, my cousin's a Libra sun, one of my cousins, and he'll learn things about people before he even meets them. So one of my cousins makes music, for example, right? And we were gonna hang out with the cousin that's a Libra sun later that week. So my cousin that's the Libra sun listened to a good amount of his music on SoundCloud, my other cousin, before we met up. So the Libra will stack the deck in their favor, especially if it's someone that they want to relate to and to build with. They'll stack the deck in order to bring things to that person that are of interest and that are relatable. So that's one very interesting Libra trait, is that the Libra naturally knows what's important, can figure out what's important to the other person, and figure out how to relate in that manner, or relate with something that may branch off from that they also find interesting. So that's one thing that's interesting about Libra. Okay. They can be prone to molding one's belief to the crowd or to others in some situations to relate or to not hurt the other, but they won't necessarily stay molded after the scenario is over. So this can be somewhat similar to a Cancerian or to a Pisces, and even a Gemini. But the Libra, although they may mold for harmony in the moment in order to relate to other people, they won't keep those views afterwards. That was situational. They don't hold by the views of others that well. Although they are a relatable sign, and this could be where the Rahu comes in for myself. And yeah. But the Libra isn't as moldable. Being cardinal air, they want to think of their own thought patterns and to establish their own relationships, etc. It's not so much that other people are going to fully, even though they're molding basically to the certain situation in order to stay relatable and to stay cordial and to stay elegant with that Venus energy, they're not going to take those views on for later if the views were crap. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily a snake-like quality, it's just a cordial and situational quality that the Libra has. But it could become snake-like if they wanted it to. So the Libra prefers to catalyze relationships, especially important ones, and is proficient at matching and pairing others. So this goes with the cardinal air quality. Cardinal means the beginning, the genesis, the starting, the movement. Fixed means holding, sustainability, conservation. And mutable means corruption, destruction, changeability, adaptation, transformation, etc. So this is a cardinal sign, so they want to begin the relationship. This is very important for Libras. Moons too. This has happened to me. There's been many girls who have courted or have told their friends to tell me that they like them through a friend, or come on to me basically, and that's never worked. It's never been even if I was attracted to them before, anytime there's peer pressure or there's the approach from the other to me, except for in one case, the attraction was killed in general, because I didn't feel like I started the relationship. I didn't start the relationship, and I didn't feel like I had set out. So if the Libra sets out to court somebody, they usually mean it. That doesn't mean that they want a long-term relationship necessarily. Some Libras are players, but they definitely find you interesting. But if you court the Libra, or you have a friend court the Libra, I know that's an old term, but you guys know what I mean. Start talking to, whatever. That's not going to go so well. The Libra wants to start relationships, and the Libra can play a great mediator, or what do they call that? A matcher for other people as well, because they can, like I said, they have friends in high places if they're doing well, or at least in that little town, they know some people of influence. They may know the drug dealer. They may know the person with the best pool, whatever it is, best setup in some way. And so And then once they start to get moving in social situations, they can start to pair people up. Okay, they can feel the disharmony and antagonism in a room naturally. Now this plays into what your other placements are, but the Libra, the sign of balance and relating, can feel when there's a conflict going on, even if it's under the surface, even if it's behind the words. And the Libra, this is almost when they can act most aggressively, when there is disharmony going on, because the Libra wants to balance things. That doesn't mean that the Libra is balanced, but the Libra is committed to balancing things, right? So if they feel some disharmony in a room, some people are arguing, or even below the surface, some people are starting to throw passive aggressive jabs in that one or the other people may not be catching, or maybe they're catching it. The Libra can feel that heightening up. Now this depends on where their other placements are. If the Libra has strong Mars placements, or compared to strong water and Venus and Jupiter, etc. placements, it'll garner a different reaction from the Libra. Most Libras want to, if not all, want to bring that disharmony and conflict to an end, ideally. Whether that means short term or long term. So this is what I mean. It depends on what your other energies are, on how you would like to resolve that conflict. For example, something that I prefer, if people are, I have a lot of Scorpio and 8th house energies. So if someone's in a conflict with somebody else, I'll literally, if it's guys, if it's my friends, I'll set them up. I'll say, okay, you guys, we're going outside, you guys are gonna wrestle. Here's the rules. No grabbing balls, no fish hooks, no eye gouges, no pulling hair. Submission wrestling right now, whoever taps out loses. We go outside, they wrestle. So that is Mars and Libra combined. You know what I'm saying? It brings the conflict to an end. Likely nobody gets hurt, and it's quick, but it's physical. You know what I'm saying? Or, and this can be twisted to a even darker version, where if there's disharmony against me, I may end that disharmony by punching someone in the face. So that's not Libra typical. Libra typical, from what I've heard, I can only speak from my experience, Libra typical, and this is shown in my cousin that's a Libra sun, for example, is to conflict avoid, and to either displace themselves from the situation or to try to diffuse. And I get upset if people try to diffuse situations. So that's why I'm saying I'm not Libra typical, and this is where the Rahu comes in, and where my Ketu and Aries comes in, and where my Scorpio energy comes in. So I'm not the typical Libra conflict avoidant, really wants harmony. It doesn't affect me so negatively when there's disharmony going on as some other Libras, as most other Libras I would assume. I want that conflict to reach a boiling point, or to reach the end conclusion, or to reach something exciting. But that's my own unique and darker energy, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I've seen, like, my cousin with the Libra sun, for example, like, aggressively step in to stop a conflict, like, completely, like, hey guys, stop fighting, you know what I mean? So it's funny, the Libra, like, aggresses to stop things. Usually they'll aggress to slow down the conflict. It's hilarious. He'll aggress to say goodbye to somebody. Even if someone's leaving the house and they haven't said bye to him, he wants to relate so bad. He's like, hey, come back, bye man, bye, or bye, see you later. So the Libra really likes to relate, and they'll stick their neck out to relate, especially if someone's in high positions, etc. Okay, they have the ability to maneuver in social situations with the utmost elegance and wisdom of others. This sign can be the most naturally inclined to moving about a party, or to moving about a gala, an art gala, or to moving about a wine tasting event. Conversing with others, speaking about the beauty of the event, speaking about the taste of the wine, or the style of the artist, and speaking to people about even their personal problems. They can go a lot of places with conversation. And also looking elegant with good posture. Not so much the Libra moon. I'll try to stick more to Libra moon. Okay, so the Libra moon in a social situation needs, this can be, okay, the Libra moon needs to feel beautiful, and needs to feel needs to feel like they have that ease and that grace and that comfort in the social situation. But that doesn't always mean they'll pull it off. That's the Libra sun that pulls it off. So the Libra moon, this happens with myself, can become very critical of oneself, of himself or herself, in social situations, because they want to express that Venus beauty and that Saturn control, that Saturn structure and confidence and basis and stability, and that Venus expression and beauty and happiness. Whether or not they can do that is another story. So that's their need, and that's what they naturally want to express, but it's another story whether they'll do that or not. So I see that I should have been twisting in the element of the moon much more. I was just talking about Libra energy more vaguely, but I think we're still doing okay. Okay, they can have trouble understanding or catalyzing their own identity, but yet they see beauty easily in the world and in others, even when they can't see it in themselves. And they can help other people catalyze their identities very easily. So this is one that could be Rahu tinted, but I think this is Libra general. Can have trouble understanding and catalyzing your own identity. Yeah, I just have to leave it at that. I can't speak on it more, but that rings very true. For the exact reason of that quote, it's like self-referential. I can't speak on it anymore because I don't know my identity. Prone to indecisiveness and self-depression because of a lack of perfect beauty and justice in the world or in the situation that they're looking to embark on. We talked about that one already. They need fulfilling relationships, or a fulfilling relationship with a person, place, or thing, and they need to build on the relationship with the Saturn energy. So the Libra, I always say person, place, or thing because it doesn't have to, I gotta escape the sun again. It doesn't have to necessarily be a person that the Libra is relating with. It can be a musical instrument, it can be artwork, it can be a TV show, or it can be writing a book, it can be any number of things, but it can also be a partnership. And that's one of the favorite things of the Libra to embark on, is building a relationship. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. Like I said earlier, they're prone to idealism. This can be idealism about relationships, about the home, about world events, about their career, about philosophy, etc. And just a little quick tip, there's a philosophy called, or a quick little finding that I got. There's a philosophy called idealism. It's out of Germany, and it's by Hegel. And I looked up Hegel's natal chart, who is the founder of idealism, and he had his natal Venus exalted in Libra. Not exalted, but at home in Libra, in its domicile. So that's interesting. Okay, the Libra loves to communicate with friends and family, Libra moon, friends, family, or partner about their new ideas and about their problems. They can bring even-keeled clarity and balanced advice to others, even when they aren't applying this clarity to themselves. So that goes to the same thing as identity. They can help other people point out the strengths of other people to them, and to tell them what they're very good at and what their appeal is and how other people probably see them, even though they can't always turn back and apply that to themselves. Same with communicating about other people's ideas and about their problems. They can offer some of the best advice of the whole zodiac to other people, even when they don't turn around and apply that to themselves. So that's where that opposition Aries needs to be honed. You need to be able to bounce back and forth from the energies and use that Aries energy to catalyze your own identity and do your own thing. Okay, they love a good debate or argument, and they're capable of leaving emotions out of it if their other plations and self-evolution allows. So the Libra can be the best debater and intellectual of the entire zodiac. And like I said, other placements and self-evolution. So if they have too much water and they're not very evolved, then they may not be the best debater, even though they will have a natural inclination for it. But this is the house of the philosopher and of the Renaissance man, you could say. Three people that come to mind, and this is what I meant to say earlier when I was talking about how the Libras naturally feel disharmony, but depending on the evolution and the other placements of the Libra, they handle that disharmony. So I was saying I'll have my friends go wrestle, or I'll start a fight in order to end disharmony. So I feel that disharmony with my water placements and with my Libra, and I'll end it by extinguishing the threat, or bringing friends to the natural conclusion. They were gonna fight if we let them continue arguing, so let's get them to safely wrestle within some rule structure right now. Now, this is where I wanted to say, horrible dictators, just like every sign has dark and good. Beautiful artists, beautiful philosophers have Libra moon. Horrible dictators such as Joseph Stalin have Libra moon. If Joseph Stalin felt any disharmony, or if that anybody was going to come challenge his position, or anybody didn't approve of his socialist, communist takeover, he would end that disharmony by shooting them in the back of the head, having them stabbed in their sleep, or poisoning them. You see what I'm saying? The Libra moon, just because it's Venus ruled, that Saturn exaltation, Saturn being Satan or the Grim Reaper, if you want to do etymology, or you want to get to the bottom of things, the ruler of this world, will Grim Reap the fuck out of someone instead of trying to nicely debate it. So at the end of every, in my guesstimation, this could be wrong, but at the end of every Libra's rope of them trying to bring harmony to the situation, trying to solve it, at the end, I think deep down, and like I said, could be speaking out of turn, the Libra would turn to extinguishing that problem, literally, in a different time period, or if they had the power to. Now, I could be wrong. That could be way too far. Maybe that's only a Libra man trait, but I doubt it. For some reason, that's speaking to me. Okay. They're prone to having idols and to copying others, especially until their self-evolution's there. I'm going to leave that one there. You guys get it, but that should resonate with you. They can go to the furthest extremes to counter an injustice or imbalance if they are strong and their natal chart or their nature permits. However, they are usually conflict avoidant as a general rule. So if they feel there's an extreme imbalance or injustice and they're of strong character and they feel confident, they can go to the greatest lengths to resolve that injustice. However, like I said, they're usually conflict avoidant as a general rule. The Libra with the cardinal air can improvise in many arenas to say the right thing, to take the right action, etc., regardless of their belief or their overarching philosophy in the solution. Their belief in the solution. Yeah, they can improvise. They can find themselves bouncing. This is the last one I'll talk about. The Libra finds themselves bouncing ideas off of others, especially the Libra moon. The Libra moon needs to relate all the time. So if you're taking in a bunch of information, you're going to find yourself talking about it to other people no matter what. Whether it's a movie you watched, a book you're reading, a show you watched, an activity you saw when you were out and about, something that happened at your job, you're going to be bouncing that off of other people automatically. If you have any level of comfort with them at all, you'll start to spill the beans about what you really think, what's really going on, which is good. In some ways, bad in others. I wouldn't say they're necessarily gossipy. They can be, but it's honestly just they need to get it off their chest and talk about it, and to use other people as a sounding board or as a sonar bounce off in order to figure out. Because like I said, they have trouble catalyzing their own identity, especially the Libra moon. So they use other people as that mirror in order to see themselves. Alright guys, I enjoyed making the video. I hope this is useful, and I'm not shying away from these longer form videos because I always find myself desiring more when I watch an astrology video that's pretty good. This one didn't feel as flowing as my last one, but I still hope it had some insights and that it flowed enough for you to stick with it. Thanks for watching, and leave some comments below. See ya.